Hey everyone, Dr. Kuniak with a another video lecture. So we had two discussion boards in the last week, one on photography and one on music, movement, etc. Both great discussion. Um, with two discussion boards, I was trying to figure out where I wanted to comment, and so what I kind of came up with was I will say that I am aware of two or three colleagues of mine who use photography therapeutically, not necessarily in their practice, but for themselves therapeutically. And so that's been kind of fascinating. I also had a friend who started taking up photography in greater detail, like in greater detail than the experiences I've ever had. They kind of put a dark room together in their house and really found it therapeutic to like go through that whole process of developing film as opposed to just using our new technologies, even though they do that as well. With the dance movement, music ideas, I was thinking about uh, one of my colleagues does dance therapeutically for herself. I don't know if she is involved in her practice or not. I know that there are some folks who add dance into their practice from as far as helping with reestablishing from recovery from like physical injuries and things of that sort. I know that the act of movement generally is extremely therapeutic. I took an eating disorders training years ago, and one of the therapeutic interventions that they shared was essentially a mindfulness and grounding oriented body movement activity to get people more familiar with their body and more in tune with their body as a means of treating eating disorders, which was really kind of fascinating. I don't know that it would work on every client, but it was really incredible to think of. Another thing that struck me was we have recently gotten my son Maxton involved in a music together program, which is he's loved music since he was very little. And it relates to the movement, and it also relates to some degree to photography, in that he is just very enthralled with images set to music on its own. He's had an ear for it since he was very little, which is also kind of interesting from a developmental standpoint, because we noticed his interest in music early on, like when he was just a few months old. He would turn to music that was playing, or he would seem to react to the music that we had on. And so my wife is very musically inclined. She's played several instruments, and so she would kind of take him on this journey. Well, he that never died. Like, he has been continuously more and more interested in music, and so we want to foster this in him. So as we were just kind of trying to come up with ways in the last year to get him more of his own activity, since his little brother has come into the world, and to give him some of his own stuff, even though we take Ollie with us. We got him involved in a music together program in an organization in our town here called oh, what is the name of it? I can see the building we go into all the time. Stage Right. So that's the name of the organization. They're a theater, music, and arts group, and so they have activities for all ages. But we started to get him involved in this Music Together program, which is a researched program where there's kinder music and other stuff like that, which is all great. This curriculum has been researched since the 80s, and they've found some really strong correlation between the program and then developmental milestones that folks have had. We actually wrote a testimony recently because they're looking into some grant funding for the program. But it's been really incredible to watch because it's a mix of music and movement. The people who run the program, the person who runs our class specifically, his name's Mr. Paul Reynolds, who teaches at a couple of the universities out here. He encourages the children in the room to that they're going to want to move around and do their own thing, and they may not always look like they're paying attention, but they are, and to kind of let them just do that. And so we have noticed that Maxton has, first off, he's very extroverted on his own, but which I don't know where he gets it from, because neither my wife or I are incredibly extroverted, but he is. He's honed some of his social skills. He still has some way to go. He's 3, but he's getting better with it, and we've noticed a significant increase in that since we started him in this Music Together program. He started memorizing the songs at 3 years old, and he'll sing them to us periodically, and he does really shockingly well. So our doctor, our pediatrician, has commented about the benefits of music and movement, particularly with children and the arts in general. So we've tried to encourage this further. We've noticed that he now makes up his own songs, which is really incredible. So if all of this has been productive for him, and I know that music, movement, and arts, photography, etc., can change my mood, um, I can only imagine how therapeutic it is to someone who who could benefit it from it one way or another. The other thing that I always think of when I think of all of these, whether it be of a photograph, music, or anything, any art really, it has a unique ability to bring us to the present. And so certainly it can also take us back. But uh, being present is a really incredible wellness intervention. So we can use it as touch points to help get someone to really focus on the here and now. We can also use music and photography to help our clients to go back to a certain time, because it gives them something tangible where they're able to reflect back on other times in their life where they were very present. Have you ever listened to a song? I know I have. You listen to a song and it essentially transports you back to a given time when you heard that in the past. And it may be good or it may be bad, but we can use these things to help get us from where we are to wherever we need or want to be. So when we're really trying to get a client to focus in on something and it's challenging, these tools can be super helpful to get them there. And certainly we can facilitate great talking conversation, talking therapeutic conversations around what any of these things mean and what they evoke in the person, and then try to get them back to it in the moment. So just some reflections that I've had as I'm reading through the discussion boards, um, and thinking about these particular topics. So I hope this was helpful. Your conversations have been helpful and interesting to me. Uh, it's been great having you in class. We have another week to go where I will create some more content. So look forward to seeing you in class.